Hello, today we're going to talk about the daily rec page. Starting from the dashboard, we can head over to the daily rec using the navigation on the left side of your screen. You can see this page automatically defaults to today's date. If you're looking to change the day, you can easily do that over here at the date box. Now you can see we have 3 tabs available. We have reconciliation, daily labor, and the miscellaneous tab. I'm going to show you reconciliation first. This page is where you enter your daily sales, receipts, and any promotional expenses that you may have had. This is something commonly filled out at the end of the day. And in the end, of course, we want the day to balance. Total sales, taxes, and gift certificate sales should be equal to your receipts and promotional giveaways. To be able to fill out the daily rec, you will need a daily sales or summary report from your POS. If your payment device is not integrated with your POS, then you will want the daily summary report from these devices to get an accurate capture of your payments. We are capturing gross sales here. This is your revenue before any discounts, coupons, in-house promotions, or refunds have taken place. It's important we use gross sales versus net sales because we need our sales reporting to include our promos and giveaways if we are to properly monitor product costs as well as labor cost efficiency. Here's a tip. When you are filling out the fields here, you can use the tab button to quickly jump to the next field. Now in this section, taxes and gift certificates sold are grouped together because we don't want our gift certificates sold to end up in our gross sales because they're not a sale yet. Selling a gift certificate is just an exchange of payment methods. Customers can use gift certificates later as a payment method for future sales. So any gift certificate sold can be entered into this field here and it will not affect your gross sales, but still gets accounted for. We can also personalize this section based on what taxes are applicable to you. We can do that by going over here to the navigation list, clicking on Setup, then Reporting, then go over here to the Categories tab, down to our taxes and gift certificates sold, and we can adjust as needed. As you're filling in this page and you want to see your progress, you can hit the refresh button and it will populate the totals for you. Moving on to the receipts section, we can customize receipts the same way we did with taxes. To see this in more detail, please see the other videos in this series. As I'm filling out the receipts section, you may notice this paid in, paid out feature. This is a great feature for many reasons. If you don't have a formal petty cash system, the paid out button can help you keep track of expenses you may pay for out of the till. For example, you've run out of milk, so you grab cash from the till and head to the corner store to buy a carton. Now that expense is accounted for when we use the paid out feature, it will now show as an expense on your reports. The paid in feature is similar but works the other way. This is for incoming cash, like a deposit for an event your restaurant is hosting next week. This incoming cash wouldn't be considered a sale, so it can be recorded here instead. It appears as a negative because we are entering incoming cash on the receipt side of our reconciliation. Once we have all the day's information filled in, we want to make sure we balance. So I'm going to use the refresh button at the top of the page to update our balance. If we are over, then we have more receipts than we do sales. If we are short, then we have more sales than we do receipts and should investigate and make sure we have entered everything in correctly. We balance, so we are going to move on to entering daily labor. I currently have daily labor set to an undetailed form since my POS takes care of my employees' detailed timesheets. This allows me to enter front of house labor and back of house labor as a total cost and total hours worked. If you do not have a system in place to track punch-ins and punch-outs, then we can turn on the detailed labor function by going to Setup, General, and turning on the detailed employee labor tracking. Be sure to always hit save when making changes. We will now go back to daily labor page, and the change we made will be in effect tomorrow. But you can see that it now lists my employees and I can enter their hours worked that day in this field beside their name. Once we've entered our labor for the day, we can move on to the Miscellaneous tab. The information you want to capture here is customizable. In the same place we were able to customize the reconciliation page, we can customize the Miscellaneous page. We can change the time periods based on your specific restaurant. If you only serve dinner in a late night menu, then you can capture those time periods here. Or as you can see, this restaurant is set up with lunch, happy hour, dinner, and late night time periods. We can also customize the time period we want to input average check information for. Lunch and dinner make the most sense for this restaurant, but you may want to capture your guest's average check for late night too. Department sales is where you can capture sales for different areas of your restaurant. If you have different revenue areas, we can customize this section as well. For example, we want to see the sales breakdown for patio, bar, and dining room. The information needed to fill in this report will be available through your POS. Once you've filled in the sales information, you can hit the refresh button, and based on the information you've given Navi, it has populated the percentage and total rows in the average check calculation. You'll also notice down here there is a place you can make notes about the day. Today we are going to make note of the snowstorm and the impact it had on the number of walk-ins we had. This gives the reader insight to why your late night sales might be on the low side. So now that we have filled in each tab, we can hit the submit button. This prompts an email to be sent to those people set up to receive the daily email. To set up the daily email, you can go to Setup, then Daily Email. You can add the emails of the recipients, and you can choose a time for the email to be automatically sent out. I am going to set the time to 4 a.m. I know by this time on the late nights, my closing manager will have the information filled out. If your restaurant only serves breakfast and closes early, and you know by 4 p.m. the daily rec page will be filled out, then you can set it to that time. Now that is the daily rec in all its bells and whistles. If you have questions about the other features of Navi, please see the other videos available.